Tuesday, February 26th. We are live here on PuckTime on WagerTalk TV. Andrew McGinnis, Carmine Bianco, Don Buster. And I'm feeling very, very motivated today, guys. I'm pissed off after a couple great days back in the NHL, a great Four Nations tournament. For lack of better words, I shit the bed yesterday in the NHL, and I like this small slate tonight, so I'm fired up. I'm prepared. I got a big play going tonight and looking forward to hopefully a huge, huge day. And I think I said it was Tuesday, so that's kind of a bad start. It's Wednesday. But we are ready to talk about three games, some props, sides, totals, team totals as well, some great promos. And I believe Carm has some thoughts on one of these teams that I'm looking forward to hearing about. I don't know, Carm, if you know which team I'm talking about, but which games are we discussing today?
Yeah, I didn't have you shitting the bed on my bingo card to start the show. You would think that you, the young guy, would leave phrases like that to the two old guys on the show. Buster and I are like those old men on the Muppets in the balcony. That would be Buster and I. But yeah, we're going to talk Winnipeg Jets, Ottawa Senators, New Jersey Devils, Colorado, and your props playlist. Some winners there, and then we're going to talk Vancouver and the LA Kings. See if the Kings can continue that torrid run on home ice that they have going, and we'll hopefully get you finish off the show with a few winners and some info along the way to make you guys some money. Yesterday was one of those days in the NHL. 7 of the first 8 games, the first period over hit. The only one that didn't, I think, was Buffalo and Anaheim. But they were scoring goals early and often in those games. Unfortunately, it didn't carry over to the late game where I had the over in the Utah game. That one, Chicago probably played their best defensive road game of the season. Kind of sucks that it was against me, but they did it. Don Buster is on the show today. I always look forward to Don. Don's north of the border still before we ship him back to Mexico. We put him in a FedEx box, poke a few holes, and send him express. Buster, how you doing, my friend?
I'm doing well, Carmine, and I am doing well because I'm actually back in Mexico. I got here very late last night and made sure I got up to do this great show that you guys allow me to come on once a week. And it's much appreciated. Yeah, the time in Canada was probably the worst I've had in a while as far as everything going. But that weather, Carmine, as you know, because we met for lunch, I cannot believe how cold it was this last month. I've forgotten about Canada. How cold, how much snow. I thought I was like 10 years old again, but that's just my maturity. But anyways, I'm back in
Andrew. Andrew, I got to tell you this. I got to tell you this really shortly. So, because I didn't mention it on yesterday's show. So Monday night, as mentioned with yesterday's guest, the Prez, I went to a poker tournament, and I get a message from my wife, and she's like, "It smells like there's a gas leak in the laundry room." So her father's with her. They smell the gas leak. They call Enbridge. Enbridge comes. The guy's monitor goes off, so they shut down the gas. So in the wintertime in Canada, the last thing you want is no heat in the house. So I had a couple of heaters that they can plug in as well too. But the next day, the company that's supposed to service this stuff comes, and the guy shows up about an hour late. He says between 11 and 2. I love when they give you that time frame, and then shows up around 3:30. And he goes and he looks around. He goes, they didn't tell me what I was supposed to be doing here. He's from a furnace company. What do you think you're fixing? The Whirlpool? And then he says, I have no tools in the truck. Who shows up to a job with no tools in a truck? I told the guy to get the hell out of the house. He leaves. You're not getting any service call fee. Just get out of here. I get on WhatsApp, and Italians are a great breed. You send a message out, and literally one guy is like, I have my gas license. I will be there in about half an hour. Comes, takes everything apart, fixes it, turns the gas back on, files the paperwork with the gas company because you need a licensed technician to do that. And everything is working fine. Nice, toasty, warm house. Still, who shows up to a job with no tools? I don't get it. It's like coming onto the show and having no opinion on a game. I post these games 24 hours before the show is going live. Buster knows it. Perez knows it. Brian knows it. Every guest will always have an opinion on this show, or they will not be a guest on this show. Andrew, how's that for me being a little fired up this morning?
I love it. I love it. And I love that the fact that you told that guy to get the hell out of your house, come into your house without any equipment or tools. That would piss me off. That's for sure. And yeah, we got all have some opinions here. So Winnipeg and Ottawa. Winnipeg is on a big streak right now, Carm. And nobody's really talking about it as much. I always say that out of every Canadian team, I think even Ottawa, who they're playing, would you say that Winnipeg gets the least credit for what they do? I mean, they started the season off with like a record-breaking start. Now they're on a massive winning streak. No. If it was the Leafs or if it was the Oilers or if it was the Habs, we would hear all about it on TSN and Sportsnet. We're not hearing a single thing really about this Winnipeg team. You want to start us off, Carm? Ottawa, Winnipeg?
Yeah. Yeah, so Winnipeg minus 135, Ottawa plus 115. The under is 20 cents to the under on the 5.5 here in this one, and I get it. Listen, Andrew, you mentioned it. Winnipeg, other than in the province of Manitoba, Winnipeg is the least talked about team in Canada. It's always about the Leafs. It's always about the Oilers. And then I would say Montreal, Vancouver are split. And then you get some talk on Calgary and Ottawa. But it is one of those things until this team not only sort of replicates their regular season in the playoffs and goes deep, that they're going to get the respect that I think they rightfully deserve. We can talk about the fact that they barely beat San Jose, but you know what they did? They beat San Jose. They got 2 points. 10 games in a row this team has won. 5 games in a row on the road. Second best in the Western Conference, second best road record in the Western Conference by this Winnipeg team. Now they go to Ottawa. The price is where it is right now, and we could see this dip. We could see some money coming in on Ottawa, depending on what we see at the morning skate, because obviously Brady Tkachuk missed the first game for them post-game or post-tournament break. Where they lose 5-2 at home to Montreal, as you guys are pretty happy about. They're also missing Norris. I think 3 guys are questionable for tonight, and 2 or 3 guys are out for this team. Pinto, I think, is also questionable for Ottawa. But if these guys are a part of the morning skate and sort of game time decisions, I think a little bit of Ottawa money starts to come in. But I think that good run, Andrew, by this Ottawa Senators team has kind of fizzled out. And they're going to be one of the teams that are going to have to battle hard to get into a wild card spot, and may not get there because their schedule is a little tough. With that said, I'm not getting in front of a win streak. It's 10 games in a row for Winnipeg. They've had to do it the hard way. Both games after the break, OT games in St. Louis, at home against the Sharks, but both wins. This team is finding ways to win, and there's when a team is finding ways to win, you have to back them. There is fight in this team right till the very end. I'll lay the 135 with Winnipeg here. Buster?
Well, Carmine, I know we sit here and we've talked. The Jets, like you say, 10-game winning streak. They did have a tough game last game against San Jose, won in overtime. They've been doing all the things right. There's no doubt. They got the best record in the NHL, I think by a point over Washington. But I don't know how many times we've sat here throughout the years and had the team on a big winning streak, and we all say, yeah, we really don't want to get in front of the winning streak. And then one of us, or maybe 2 of us, will go, but I'm going to be the butt here. I'm going to I like Ottawa as the live dog here. And it's because what you were talking about as well, Carmine. It sounds like Tkachuk and Norris are going to probably play tonight. Now, I know you still got to look at the skate, but Tkachuk was already talking about wanting to play. Norris, I believe, was full practice yesterday. So there's a couple guys getting back. Now, since Ottawa have come back, they've had 3 days off now since that last, when they kind of no-showed against Montreal, I guess, or what me and Andrew would like to say, were dominated by the Montreal Canadiens. And like I say, the positive here, before Ottawa's bad streak, they did win 5 in a row. And, again, this is a club that I believe has a good chance of making the playoffs. Yes, the injuries are tough, but Winnipeg in the last 5 games, 3 of them have went to overtime. So it's almost like they're just on that cusp of losing a game. And Ottawa, they've got a really good home team record. They're 16-8-2 at home. So, if they're going to play some good hockey, if they're going to beat this Winnipeg club, they're going to beat them at home. Now, they have played this year already. It was a 4-2 loss by Ottawa in Winnipeg. But that game was close right to the very end. It was 2-2, and then Ottawa collapsed late in that third period. I think Winnipeg scored 2 goals in the last 9 minutes and beat them. So for an underdog at home, I'm gonna take a little shot on Ottawa to finally end this great winning streak of Winnipeg. And Andrew's probably right. Maybe we don't give this Jets club enough credit, but they are a good club. But again, just like Ottawa here in this one, I'll give you a few trends. I want really no part of this total. But with the total at 5.5, these clubs have gone 6-2 to the over their last 8. Also, both these teams have gone 6-3 to the over in their last 9 games. So even though this looks like it might be somebody that you might want to go under in this game, the trends and stats kind of say it could be an over game. Like I say, even this year, the game was 4-2. But for me, total pass on the total, and I will play a little bit on the Ottawa Senators as a live dog.
I get it.
I like it, Buster. He's bringing it, Andrew. I like Buster. He's got like a few of the trends and stuff. And I asked some of the guys in the live chat, drop your favorite plays for tonight. We'll mention some if we've got some time along. But one of the guys mentioned in there that Hellebuck's last 4 starts against Ottawa, he's allowed 2-3-1-1, I believe, if I read that correctly. So anytime, I don't think the goalies are confirmed as of yet, but you always want your number 1 in there, of course, and you want to see Hellebuck. Great season for this Winnipeg Jets team, Andrew.
Yeah, it seems like America fell in love with hockey over the Four Nations break, and I liked it because I'm a fan of the game, of course, but they also fell in love with the Canucks. But I bet you Ottawa Senators fans and Florida Panthers fans didn't fall in love with their players because both those guys got hurt. And I know what you guys are saying. I did see some reports saying that, hey, 1 game more might not hurt him for rest, but he is itching to get out there. So, you do kind of want to see him kind of, play the rest of the season and not just come back and get hurt again, similar kind of to what happened with Austin Matthews, probably coming in and out of the lineup versus just staying out of the lineup for a long time. But when I look at this game overall, guys, I look at, Carr made a good point there about Winnipeg. Look, they kind of fumbled late in the game against San Jose, but then they ended up winning the game in overtime. So you can look at it 2 ways. Like, yeah, they blew the game, but they ended up coming back and winning. So it's kind of like a 2 tails of the tape. But at the same time, would they come in and feel fat and sassy if they won that game 7-1? Is it almost better that they won that game in tight fashion? Does it kind of keep them hungry and keep them alive versus if they just absolutely wiped out a team? Ottawa's going to be motivated as well. They are. I mean, that game against Montreal, it's not just because Montreal won. I think it's the way that Montreal won that game. They just seem to be the hungrier team out of the break. So although I'm usually a team totals guy, picking one team, and typically look at these 2 teams, good goaltenders, both starters and backups I trust, but obviously especially the starters. I'm actually going to go over 5.5 in this one here, guys. Just 2 teams I think will not be happy with their performances from their last game. And I get it. There's going to be emphasis on defense. And I get it that Ottawa won't be happy about their effort defensively against the Habs. But I think we see 2 teams that are fired up. And despite the firepower potentially being missing in the lineup, I think they can still get over 5.5. And it's not often these days in the NHL you're getting plus money over 5.5. That's what we're getting here today, guys. So I'm actually going to sit back and hope both teams have fun and cheer for the over 5.5 in this one.
Andrew, just an update to let you guys know. I haven't seen any line change or price changes on the WagerTalk live lines, but TSN 1200 in Ottawa reporting that Shane Pinto and Brady Tkachuk are on the ice this morning in the Ottawa Senators optional skate. So if they're on the ice, there's a good chance they're going to be in the lineup as well too. So if you like the Sens, you might want to take them at plus 115 because I only see it dropping as opposed to Winnipeg money coming in. So just a little bit of info there. All right, Buster, the Colorado Avalanche, New Jersey Devils, the Avs, minus 140 at home. You never see a price like that on the Avs, but the Devils plus 120, total 5.5, shaded 20 cents to the over. Who do you like here?
Yeah, Carmine, this game, like for the side, it's a very tough game to call. New Jersey do have in-season revenge for a 4-0 Colorado win on December 8th. Both teams, though, coming out of the break, they haven't looked the best. New Jersey are 1-1, and Colorado are 0-2, and they've only scored 2 goals in those 2 games, so that's not good. New Jersey get Colorado back from a 2-game road trip, but they did have a couple days off, so I can see maybe leaning to the dog here. But I really expect a big game out of Colorado because they haven't scored. They just haven't looked good. So when you get those days off like that, you get home, I can see a big game from Colorado. So in other words, I want no part of this side. That is for sure. No part at all. Anybody that's betting this side, all the best to you. I will, though, have a small play on the over 5.5. There's no doubts that these two teams, they have been trending to the under a bit. But when they get together, they are 5-3 to the over, including all 3 games they played last year went way over the total. Both these clubs also are very, very good offensively, or can be. They can show it at times. And I just think that this is a game that, because of Colorado, the way they've been playing lately, and New Jersey knowing that they didn't score the last time against this Colorado team, I think that helps them both. You know what? Let's play a little bit more offensively tonight. And I'm going to say one last thing here, is that you're getting some great line value at the 5.5. If you go back, I don't know, to 2019, the total between these clubs has been 6.5, and even a 7 has been thrown in there too. So I like the line value. 5.5, I always say 6 is an easy number to get to. Just the way these two teams have been playing of late, I think we're going to see some goals tonight. I'm betting the over 5.5, and best of luck to everyone that wants to take a shot on the side.
All right. Andrew, I'm going to throw a quick one out because I didn't give my opinion on this game, and I'm going to send it over to you. But, when New Jersey just played Dallas, and I talked about taking Dallas first period money line, just because New Jersey at home had horrendous numbers in the first period. Money line, I think they were only ahead in 5 of their games thus far. And then I did mention 2 of the teams who were worse than the Devils were Colorado and the Edmonton Oilers. All teams that start slow and then pick it up. Well, the Colorado Avalanche, if you've been betting them in the first periods, you are losing money. They are betting against Colorado in the first period at home. You are up almost 16 units, 15.8 units. Colorado in 28 home games have held the lead after 20 minutes in only 6. They've been trailing in 14, tied after 20 in 8. Give me the New Jersey Devils first period money line, and let's see if the Devils on the road are better in the first 20 minutes because the Avalanche certainly haven't been good at home in the opening 20 minutes of the game, but still, good teams find a way to win, and that's where the second and third periods are. So this is one of those ones where you could take New Jersey first period, and if you get out of that period with a lead, you might want to in-game bet Colorado to come back and win that game. So a couple different ways of looking at that. But first period for me, Andrew, on New Jersey. On New Jersey. Give me your thoughts on this game.
Yeah, I'm looking at the first period as well, except for I'm just on the first period over. I've got an opinion on totals in all three of the games we're going to talk about today. For me, look, guys, that whole system play, we were calling it the strategy behind taking the first period over following the game where a team was shut out, doesn't exactly apply in this one, but I'm going to pretty much act like it does. Because Colorado scoring just one goal is like most other teams getting shut out. That's how rare it is for them to get shut out. Low event, low shot count, low scoring chances, low whatever the hell you want to call it. The Avalanche were flat as a pancake in their first game back out of the break on Sunday. The New Jersey Devils, meanwhile, pretty much the opposite. They looked smooth. They looked like a well-oiled machine. They looked great, putting up a ton of goals, shutting out their opponent. We're getting minus 120 here. You know, with Colorado, with the offense that they have, it's very rare to get minus 120 on a first period over. So although they didn't get shut out in their last game here, guys, I'm pretty much treating it that way with the desperation we're going to see from them. And if Carm thinks the Devils will have a good start to this game as well, that helps my case even more with the over 1.5 in the first period. So, Carm, I love getting this price, man, with these first period overs, and I almost find they go better than laying the heavy chalk with some of these first period overs. So that's my play here on this one. It looks like we're both in on a first period play.
And I'm going to say the opinions I'm sharing on today's show will likely be all small client plays for me. This isn't the best card, but I do have opinions on the games. And when I really like the games, they become 3 or 4% plays or higher. And if I just have an opinion on it, they'll be 1.5 or 2% type plays. And I likely won't have a card up for sale tonight, but these will be client plays. I do like the Jets in the first one, and I do like the Devils first period in this second game. And we're going to get to the third game in a second, but before we get there, Andrew, you have some gems for us. Give us the Andrew McInnes playlist. Let's go.
All right, we've got just two for today. We've been rocking with two for a little while, and I like these both quite a bit. How about the Vancouver Canucks? How about the struggle that this team is going through right now? This team traded away the wrong guy? I don't know, but Elias Pettersson hasn't looked that great, and JT Miller has looked pretty damn good in a New York Rangers uniform. This team is struggling. So what do they need? Secondary support, secondary scoring. We're gonna go over 1.5 shots on goal with Jake DeBrusk from the Vancouver Canucks. Love these guys with the 1.5 numbers. Sometimes that 2.5 is just too much to ask, but over 1.5, that is certainly doable. Ottawa Senators, we're going to take a look at them over the Winnipeg Jets. Tim Stützle to record an assist. I love that price. That number is plus 100. Guys, I think assist betting is one of the most under-talked about bets as far as props in the NHL. We hear about shots. We hear about points, obviously the goals, team totals, and all that good stuff. Assists are really strong, and I think you get a really good price compared to the point prop for a guy like minus 180 to get a point all the way down to plus 100 just to get an assist. So those are two that I like here for tonight, Carm. Ottawa off that loss to Montreal. They will be desperate. I'm taking Tim Stützle plus 100 to record an assist tonight for the Senators.
All right. I like it, Andrew. Guys are dropping their plays in there. TJ Salvatore, who always chimes in with some stuff. He likes Dougie Hamilton tonight to get a point. 7 of his last 10 games, he's picked up a point. I'll go one step further. 7 of his last 9 road games, he's also picked up a point. So let's see. Let's make everyone happy. 1-0 New Jersey at the end of the first period. Dougie Hamilton with the goal. Everyone's happy. 2-0. All right, 2-0. Dougie,
Come on,
Dougie
Carm.
with a point in one of those ones. All right, all right. Let's talk about hot teams and Don Buster, because you're in the hot weather right now. The LA Kings minus 180, Vancouver plus 150. The total here is 5.5. If there was ever a number that should be at 5, playoff hockey style 5, it should be this game right here between these two teams. It should be a 5, but it's 5.5, and they're going to make you pay the vig on if you want the under. Buster, how are you breaking this one down?
Yeah, Carmine, Vancouver has came out like limping after this break, losing both their games and only scoring 2 goals in those games. Unfortunately for Vancouver, it's not going to get much easier tonight going against this LA club who have the best home record in the NHL at 19-3-2. Now, I guess there is an argument that Winnipeg has the best record. They're 23-5-3, but everybody gets my point. It's going to be very tough for Vancouver to win here tonight. But in saying that, Vancouver did give LA one of their 3 losses on November 7th, 4-2. And then the Kings came back and paid the Canucks the favor back in Vancouver, winning 5-1. Now, that Vancouver club that played in November is not the same club that's playing the Kings tonight. That is for sure. But you know what? Can't lay 180, can't lay 185 with the Kings. But in regulation, they're a pick, 110 for LA. So I like that play for 1-8 for the LA Kings in regulation here. LA's been playing some great hockey. They've won 5 of their last 6 games. Only game that they lost in a shootout, 2-1 to Anaheim. So it could be 6-6. So yeah, I like the Kings here. As for this total, really want no part of it, especially at 5.5. And as you said, Carmine, it maybe could be a 5. Last 10 games, Vancouver are 8-2 to the under, and they don't score a lot of goals. LA are 6-4 to the over. And between the clubs, believe it or not, though, the last 10 games are 6-3-1 to the under. So they have played a few overs. Oh, and when have they played those overs? Both games this year landed on 6. So to me, yeah, I don't know. It looks like a dead under, but I want no part of this total whatsoever. Best of luck with everybody betting under 5.5. Give me LA minus 110 in regulation.
Andrew, I think I'm going mano a mano with Buster here because I hate getting in front of win streaks and such, but like they're 14-1-1, Vancouver. Sorry, the LA Kings at home, 14-1-1, their last 16 games. Unbelievable. But you look at the last game and they did struggle for the opening 40 minutes against the Vegas Golden Knights, I thought, at least. You can look at it 2 different ways, but they got the job done in the third period and really piled it on, scoring 4 goals, winning that game 5-2. In a game in which there's a low total like this one, 5.5, and the money is on the under in this one, I want to play a team like Vancouver, a team that also plays some good defense and can steal games on the road when they do play good defense. I think they've won 3 of their last 5 in LA. This is, of course, a Western Conference matchup. Vancouver needs the points just as much. I'm going to take the dog here. I'm going to take the plus 150 with Vancouver and see if that late game, if we can get a bit of an upset in that late game with the Canucks winning. I'll throw one of those Prez predictions. I'll go with Vancouver winning this one 3-2. It lands on 5, and the Canucks win it. Whether it's OT or not, we'll see. But Buster and I are going to go mano a mano on this one. What are your thoughts, Andrew? Are you breaking the tie?
I'm not going to break the tie. I think it's going to be one of those games where it's going to be LA playing LA style and Vancouver trying to push the pace, and we'll see which team can come out on top in that way. But as you brought up that streak, man, LA at home, they're a dangerous beast. This is a team that just their defensive zone exit is, to me, some of the best in the whole league. The way that they clear the puck out of their own end, the way they get the puck to the winger, The centerman jumps up into the middle of the ice, and they're up the ice in no time. It's more impressive than many other teams. They don't spend a lot of time in their own side of the ice. They're very, very smooth at getting out of trouble. And I think that's going to help them against Vancouver, that has struggled big time to maintain possession in the O-zone. So we got a Vancouver team, guys, that has scored just 6 goals in their last 4 games, and an LA team that would have no issue winning 2-1 in every hockey game they play in. And if you look at the last LA game, the funny thing is I had LA against the Golden Knights. That game was about 2-1 for the majority of that game. I mean, out of nowhere, absolutely nowhere, we see that game just go crazy and end up finishing with a 5-2 total, going over the number here. But I think with the defensive mindset that LA plays with, I don't think this is the team that Vancouver all of a sudden breaks out of their scoring streak against, or their scoring slump against. So if they want to win, they're going to probably have to win in low-scoring fashion. I'll go under 5.5 in this one. I'll dare some of these teams to go over the total. And if it does go over the total, I'll probably regret not taking LA. So we'll see what happens. But I think this one's going to be a defensive game. And we got 2 great goaltenders here going at it. That is my best bet on the show, under 5.5 in this game. So I will mention before I throw it back over to Carm, I do have a big bet going tonight. And number 1 at WagerTalk this season with 4% and 5% plays combined. And, of course, on 5% plays alone. So you guys can grab that over at WagerTalk.com. You can also grab 10 days for the price of 7 with no promo code necessary. Let's get back on track. Laying in bed yesterday, guys, after that disaster of a day, I wasn't happy. You know, I had a couple good days in a row, plus 15 units with the Four Nations tournament, and I had a bad day yesterday, and I got a bad taste in my mouth. I'm looking forward to hopefully a very, very good day here. And, Carm, these small slates can be dangerous too. You know, we can make money on the small slates. The big slates everyone loves, but the small Wednesday, Friday, Sunday, those are the days you can really make money on.
You know, I tend to agree, Andrew, but sometimes I look at it in those big slates. You think there's so many games that there's just plays that absolutely stand out. But tell that to anyone who had the Dallas Stars yesterday as Columbus puts 6 on them, or the Carolina Hurricanes who get shut out by the Montreal Canadiens, the Penguins who get slapped around by the Flyers, the Washington Capitals losing at home to the Calgary Flames. And just a slew of games. And then the Edmonton Oilers coming out of this break, you know, the Oilers teams, Andrew, before we go to Buster for his show Best Bet, it seems like the Edmonton Oilers, when they go into a break, they come out of it and they're not the same team. If you recall that 16-game run that they had last season, 16 straight wins, go into the break, come out, and I think they dropped their first and second games after the break. After this Four Nations break, they've come out and they have not looked like they are in sync. And they've got the Florida Panthers tomorrow. So we'll see what happens in that one. But it could be 4 games out of the hop for this team after the break, and allowing goals as well, too, just not scoring any goals. With that said, Buster, before I close it out with my show free play, let us know what you have up at WagerTalk and give us a show best bet.
Okay, thank you very much, Carmine. WagerTalk actually has a great deal for college basketball. I know this is an NHL show, but I wanted to let everybody know, because a lot of people bet NHL, also do bet college basketball. You can get the rest of the season in college basketball for only $199. That's all the cappers at WagerTalk, including myself. And that gives you every game we release right up to April 7th, which is the final game of the college basketball season. Also includes all 5% plays. For ourselves, we're currently on a 6-0 college basketball run. And long-term, we're a solid 79%, hitting 26-7-1 run. And tonight, we do have our college basketball play of the night going. So go over to the site, head to our homepage, Don Buster, check that out, and grab that package. It's a great deal for only $199. Our show play for tonight is going to be a prop play. As we say, there's only 3 games, so I'm going to the prop market. And we're going to play Cale Makar over 2.5 shots on goal minus 142. Now, Makar's gone over this total in 5 straight games. He's also gone over this total the last couple of games against New Jersey, having 5 and 6 shots in those games. So he's gone well over the total when playing the Devils. And as I had said earlier in my breakdown of this game, I believe it's going to be a little bit more offensive. And I look for Makar to have a big game tonight and get well over that 2.5 shots on goal as he has in the last 5 games. So it's Cale Makar over 2.5 goals, minus 142. Want to thank you guys as always, Andrew and Carmine, for having me on the show today. Much appreciated. As always, best of luck with everyone's plays, whether it be an NHL, NBA, college basketball, whatever you're playing tonight. Best of luck. And as always, from beautiful, finally hot weather, Mexico, have a great day.
Yeah, whatever, Buster. Rub it in, Buster. Rub it in. There is Buster making his final appearance on Puck Time for the next 3 years. Keep rubbing it in. Anyways, that said, my free play on the show is going to be the Winnipeg Jets. I'm going to lay the juice on this one. It'll likely be a 2% client play as well, too, as I mentioned earlier on. This team is winning. I don't want to get in front of a win streak. I think the Sens have to be much better than they have been prior to the break and the game after the break. And I get it with Brady Tkachuk, whether he's completely 100% remains to be seen, but we'll see if he turns out to be a game time decision or in the lineup. But I like the Jets a little bit more in this spot. And if it's Hellebuck in net, then I definitely want them. He's having a fantastic season as well, too. 2 soccer plays up. Yesterday's customer appreciation $5 soccer best bet was an easy winner with Chelsea winning 4-0. 2 plays in the Premier League today. One of them is a 4% play. You get those over at WagerTalk. And I mentioned the hockey ones as well, too. So I'll probably attach them to that package as well, too, so you guys know that they are client plays if you're buying the soccer ones. That is it for today, guys. PG rating on today's show. Much calmer show today. We appreciate you guys tuning in. We love the comments, and not only in the live chat, but afterwards. Hit that subscribe button. 195,000 subscribers and growing each and every day here at Wager Talk. For myself, Andrew, Buster, and Dan Alexander, this is Puck Time. We will see you on Thursday when Brian Leonard steps into the guest chair.